Welcome to the Loud Little Ducky. Today we are going to talk about the weatherman that the Commonwealth called up. Um, and, some of us before trial were like, why do we need a weatherman to tell us that it was cold and that there was a blizzard? Um, but also, is this going to save us from having to have 20 experts talk about the snow? But I liked the little weatherman. He really enjoys his career, his job, um, and I think he helped us understand some things in this case and how fast things were going, as far as how fast was the wind, at what rate was snow coming down, how much was there, at what time, what the temperatures were at during what times. So I think it did help a little bit. This one is not going to be a long video. It's going to be super quick. But we have Mr. Robert Gilman that is talking about hydrometeorology, which is basically just the study of falling water things. um, there is a Excel sheet that I've put together to kind of show the breakdown of everything and how all of that happened. Um, he talks about the ground possibly being impenetrable, um, that the reports for Canton come from an airport near Canton or in Canton. Um, but he is a New England weather scientist. Uh, the airport thing is at the Blue Hill Observatory. He also so he talks about light snow around midnight, enough to track a cat. So I guess there was a little bit of snow, enough snow on the ground, like the dusting of it, to see where if we were needing to track a cat or follow cat footprints, um, we would be able to track the cat and follow the footprints and see the cat's footprints in the dustings of snow. Um, and that was, talking about 1:30 to 1:45 a.m. when everybody was leaving. Um, there was good visibility, for about 8 to 10 miles is is what good visibility is considered in weather terms. Whereas to us, good visibility based on our eyesight and things like that, our visibility, we might not see 8 to 10 miles. And then around 1 a.m., visibility is about 1.2 miles, is the visibility then. Um, 1 inch around 12 between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m., 3 a.m. less than 1.7 of an inch, 1.2 by noon, 8 tenths or point 0.8, um, which is and then also 3 tenths by 1 to 2 a.m. And then by noon on January 29th, 12.5 or 12 a.m. from June 29th to 12 p.m. Um, in that 12-hour period of the 29th, 12.5 inches in total of snow. And then he talks about wind chill can make temps feel colder than they actually are. So that was kind of a summary of his testimony. Now let's look at his representations and his visual aids, which are nice if you're a visual learner. Let's send this just in case I need this one. Because, of course, am I like all ready and everything with things? No. Um, all right. Let's look at. All right. Here is our snow timeline. Remember to hit the like button um, on this video. But here we have from 6 p.m. to midnight on January 28th, going into January 29th, 2022. There was an overcast with isolated flurries with light snow. The amount of snow was there was a coating, if any. The temperatures were about 28 degrees to 31 degrees Fahrenheit. The road temp at that time was 27 degrees to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very important. That's, when do we need plows? When do we need saltings of the road? Because sometimes it can be cold outside, but if it was 90 degrees the day before it snowed for some random reason, Texas has weird things happen. The road temperature is not gonna be as cold as the temperature of the air. It's going to take a lot longer for that road temp to get down to match the air temps if the temperatures had been higher before, but it had kinda been cold consistently before we got to this day, so the road temperatures are pretty much consistent with the air temp. So and then the winds were north northeast at 2 to 12 miles an hour. There were gusts up to 22 miles per hour. Then we get into midnight on the 29th to 6 a.m. on the 29th. This is during where John O'Keefe was, uh, where the incident happened to John O'Keefe was during this time period. There was snow and it was 3 to 4 inches during this time. Temperature was 23 degrees to 28 degrees, road temperature matching. North to northeast winds at 6 to 8 miles per hour, gusts of wind going up to 30 to 45 miles an hour. So that was when the incident. Now we get to 6 a.m., which is when John O'Keefe's body was found, to noon. Which noon was about the time that everybody was up at the hospital or getting discharged from the hospital, and everybody was gathered at One Meadows after finding out that John O'Keefe had passed and Karen has been released from her psych hold that they did on her. So during this time period, there was approximately 6 to 10 inches of snow. And the temperatures were 16 degrees Fahrenheit to 23 degrees Fahrenheit, road temperatures being 18 degrees to 25 degrees Fahrenheit, with snow with possible thunder snow, which I have no clue what thunder snow is. I do not get that where I'm located, but it doesn't sound great. I will say that. You would not catch me outside. Um, North to northeast winds 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts of wind up to 40 to 55 miles per hour. Then going into noon to 6 p.m. The noon to 6 p.m. time period covers Karen Read's vehicle going to Dighton and covers the time period in which CERT was out at 34 Fairview doing their search and the time that Karen Read's vehicle was being seized by Proctor and Buchanan and taken back to Canton PD Sallyport. So at this point, the snow um, tapers late. There's 7 to 9 inches that have happened, and the temperature is about 12 degrees to 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Road temp is about 11 degrees to 19 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds being north northeast, 20 to 30 miles per hour, gust being 45 to 65 miles per hour. Then 6 p.m. to midnight, which CERT has now finished up, and everybody is where they are going to be for the night. And the snow has tapered, and the amount of snow falling during this time period was about 2 to 3 inches, and temperatures being 9 to 13 degrees Fahrenheit, and the road temp matching. The winds are north and northwest now from 15 to 25 miles per hour, with gusts of wind up to 40 to 60 miles per hour. So that is his. Mm, mm, mm. Thought I had a different. Oh, that's the snow timeline. Okay. So now I'm going to bring up. Let's see here. I, okay, I don't know what's happening here. Trying to bring up this picture, but it's not letting me for some reason. Let's just do it this way. What is happening here? Okay. For some reason, this is not letting me do it, but we'll just go over it. Um, uh, it's not going to let me show you. Okay. So, estimated hourly snowfall, we get to about 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., there is zero point 0.3 inches of snow for both of those hours. 3, there's zero point 0.4 inches. At 4, there's zero point 0.5 inches. At 5, an inch fell in the hour. At 6, 1.2 inches fell in that hour. And these are all hour where they have like a board, they see how much snow that accumulates, they measure it, they clean it off, and they allow it to build up again. At 7 a.m., 1.5 inches fell, 8, 1.1, 9, 1.5 inches, 1.1, 9, 1.1, 9, 1.5 inches, 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 Um, and at 10 and 11 a.m., they also each had 1.5 inches of snow. 12 p.m. and 12 p.m., 1 p.m., and 2 p.m. also had 1.5 inches as well. Um, and then 3 p.m., they had 2 inches of snow. 4 p.m. hour, 1.5 inches of snow. At 5 p.m., they had 2.2 inches of snow. And at 6 p.m., another inch and a half. At 7, it started tapering down. And at 7 and 8, they got um, zero point 0.5 or half an inch of snow at 7 and 8. And then it was tapering down to 0 inches of snow by midnight during that 24-hour time period of the 29th. Um, I don't know why it's not letting me set up my image, but I will, um, but those are the inches, and then once you add all those up, you get the total amount of snow that fell within that 24-hour time period, which is, I believe, where they come up with the 12.5 inches total of snow that they received at that 24-hour time period. But that tells you, okay, there was this much when they were searching at this time. There was this much snow that accumulated by the time his body was found. How much snow had accumulated when he had passed, which was barely any, enough to track a cat, if that. And and then you see by the time CERT is out there, it's a bunch of snow. So, um, it I mean, it was, as they said, one of January in the history, it is January's worst blizzard that Massachusetts has ever seen. So that was the testimony of, um, the weatherman, Mr. Gilman. Um, you just can really tell he loves what he does, and it's really nice to see. But that's gonna be it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.